You are watching NCAA Women's Gymnastics on the ACC Network. And this is a new era for 4 teams now joining the ACC Conference, a sport that has not been sponsored since 1984. And we've got NC State's home opener this evening. I'm Rachel Garland alongside Georgia gymnast Sydney Sneed. And Sydney, what can we expect out of these 2 fantastic programs?
Yeah, well, it's going to be a really fun night. We're going to see some high-level gymnastics. We've got both teams coming off the season highs. It's NC State's first home meet, and Pitt is really looking to build with their young team.
Absolutely. Conference championship coming up, but these teams are going back and forth. And we're going to take a look at one of NC State's rock stars, Emily Shepard.
She has just been a phenomenal asset for this NC State gymnastics team. The consistency, the leadership, just all around consistent athlete. That's really going to help them out.
And you see last weekend they competed at UNC, another ACC rival. Season highs in 3 out of the 4 events. She competes in all around, and we're going to see her on all 4 events again this evening. Nothing new for the graduate student for this Wolfpack team. And then we've got a phenomenal incoming gymnast, Emily Todd, for this Pittsburgh Panther, coming from overseas, but what can we expect?
Also, such a great and beautiful gymnast to watch. The form, the confidence. I love everything about her gymnastics, and she's definitely going to be one to watch out for.
You see, they were at Clemson last week at 9.825 on bars and at 9.7 on beam. Their head coach, Casey Joe, they've got a really young team, and she expects big things out of this program. We've got a fantastic crowd here, a huge student section. I know all of Wolfpack Nation is really excited for this program to have rejoined the ACC. So we've got 4 schools being joined by 2 more next year with Cal and Stanford. So just so many things going on, and we are ready to get this competition underway. NC State is going to start on the vault and rotate in Olympic order, which will be vault, bars, beam, and then floor. Pitt is going to start on bars, and they're going to flip-flop back and forth between the short events and the long events. So their rotations are going to be a little bit different. Meg Adler is going to get the Wolfpack started. She's a sophomore from just down the road in Chapel Hill. 9.8 last week on this event. You see them getting some words of wisdom from their assistant coach, Phil Ogletree, in his 7th year with this Wolfpack team.
Fall is a really strong event for them, so they're really going to want to kick it off strong to start this entire competition.
And we were talking a little bit before the broadcast. The one thing that I would love for NC State to work on is just having more 10.0 vaults in the lineup.
And what a great start for them. A nice Yurchenko fall, minimal hop, but those are those details, those hops, those landings that we're really going to be looking for throughout the entire meet.
Absolutely. We're going to take another quick look here. So this vault is only valued at a 9.95. So if Meg does everything perfectly, the most she's going to get is that 9.95.
And the judges are really looking for that height off the table, that stuck landing, and obviously in between those white lines.
Up first for Pitt on the uneven bars, this is Jordan Ewing. Last week, a 9.75. She's one of their juniors from Halifax, Nova Scotia. One of 6 members of this team that are from outside of the United States.
Which is really cool. And so far, a strong leadoff routine. A little bit short on some of those handstands. It gets ready for a double tuck dismount. Almost had that stick. Speaking of sticks, the new landing rule.
Oh, I love the new landing rule. No,
I do too.
No more. For those that are new to the sport of college gymnastics, Sydney, can you tell us a little bit about this new stick rule that we're going to be talking about all season?
Yes, so you have to hold that stuck landing for the judges to be able to see it. We always joked about the college stick when you salute really quick and then take a step, and now they're requiring that or you get deducted.
Absolutely. So Ewing, you saw that little shuffle of a foot on the landing. Meg Adler here previously for NC State, a hop on her landing. We've got Lex Ortega. There you can see the entire vault lineup made up mostly of upperclassmen.
Another Yurchenko full. A really nice solid vault. Again, they're going to want to get those stuck landings, but we are still early on in season, so it's as to be expected.
We'll take another look here at Ortega, one of the graduate students out of Tampa, Florida. A 9.775 last week.
Again, looking for that big amplitude off the vault table. That's a key thing the judges will be looking for.
Back over to the uneven bars. This is going to be Kennedy Duke for Pitt. Duke, another one from outside of the U.S. She's a sophomore from Surrey, British Columbia. There you can see the Pitt bar lineup. A good mix of freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, but they do have a very strong underclassmen team. We're going to see a lot of their performances tonight.
That's such a good strength to have, too. You have a bunch of underclassmen. They're getting opportunities to get out and compete, especially at an away meet like this when there may be some nerves. It may be a little bit pressuring.
They've had 2 away meets against ACC foes. So at Clemson last weekend, at NC State this weekend. Finally got a salute from the judges. Duke had some All-Eagle nominations last year. Again, that Eagle Conference, the East Atlantic Gymnastics League, was a conference made up by multiple teams that didn't really have a conference to participate in.
A solid routine so far. You can see the short handstands, which will be a deduction, and then a nice dismount, but again, another deduction on that step.
Take another look.
She gets on top of the bar, gearing up for that dismount, and then couldn't quite find that stick. But those are the details that we're going to see them starting to focus on as season goes on.
Krista Zoltovich up next for the Wolfpack team. She is one of their seniors, and we'll see her on a few events tonight.
Nice Yurchenko full. Good block off the table, and I liked the distance that she had from the table to the landing. That just shows how much power you have in the vault.
And so far, everyone's staying inside those white lines.
Which, again, saves them from a lot of deductions as well. You can see right here on that vault. Gets a good block, but more distance than she did block. A little bit of pike down, but keeps it, like you said, in between those white lines.
So 3 up for the Wolfpack, 3 Yurchenko fulls at those 9.95 start values, and a 9.75 last weekend for Zoltovich. We'll take a quick look at Coach Landers in her 7th season as the NC State head coach, 2-time Eagle Coach of the Year, and she has big plans just being back in the ACC. I think all the coaches do when they know what being sponsored again by ACC Athletics can do for the programs.
Absolutely.
Araya Simmons for Pittsburgh on bars.
She starts off with a big release move right down into that bail to the low bar. Moving through the routine nicely. Nice double tuck. Thought she was going to have that stick, but small step. Again, though, they're continuing to build on each routine, and hit routines is what you're wanting right now.
Absolutely. Take another quick look here. New to the lineup this week.
Nicely done on that dismount.
Just that small step. quick look over at their head coach. First season as the Pitt head coach, Casey Jo McPherson. She spent 10 years in the SEC on the Missouri staff prior to this, and her resume is phenomenal.
Absolutely phenomenal. Huge vault we're going to see over here. Wow. Look at that height she gets off the table. She made that vault look way too easy, and she did it all of warm-ups. We were watching her in warm-ups.
Yes.
I think she nailed every single one that she did, and so happy to see her nail that vault. Huge.
Great redemption from last weekend. She actually fell at Carolina on this vault, and just being a freshman, she's got the only 10-0 start value in this lineup.
That's got to boost her confidence up.
Yes. And like you said, you were at that meet last weekend, just a slip of the hand, total fluke accident. We watched so many of those vaults in the warm-up, and she did every single one the exact same.
I love how she bounces back, though, this week. No issues at all.
Big things planned for Ashley Knight. Julie Madso on the uneven bars.
Just look at the form she has throughout the routine. Toes pointed, feet together. These are the type of routines that are just pretty to watch.
Madso, a freshman from Asker, Norway. Last week at a 9.725. She's got a list of accolades as well, including the Norwegian champion in 2020 and 2022.
I really like the form throughout that routine. It's a solid hit for Pitt. Again, they're really trying to focus on those sticks. They haven't gotten one yet, but they've all been solid landings so far.
And when we spoke to Casey Jo prior to the broadcast, her big thing this year is building. It's building their routines, it's building their depth, it's building their confidence. And I've watched their last couple of meets, and you can see just, even in their bar routines so far, so much more confident than they were last week. Back over to vault, Emily Shepard.
Wow. Another big vault for NC State. She does that Yurchenko full, so again, a 9.95 start value, but that's pretty close to as good as it gets with the vault, right?
I'm going to be curious what they do. It looked like a stuck landing to me.
We'll take another look here on the replay. She gets that nice block. Was like a hop in place almost.
It's so hard because the mat gives, and you don't know if her feet actually move. So the judges judge in real time. They don't get these slow-mos like we do. All right, back over to the uneven bars. Emily Todd, that we took a look at the top of the broadcast. She's the freshman from Bristol, England, a 9.825 last weekend on this event.
And so far, a really good routine. Looking for that stick. Oh, almost had it. She knew it too.
She was definitely going for it. But still a very solid routine for the Panthers.
Very solid. You can just see the confidence building as each athlete goes.
She had it. I wanted her to get that. All right. So Chloe McGrady coming up next for the Wolfpack. She's a 3-event specialist.
This would be another big score for them.
And current ACC Gymnast of the Week.
Really nice Yurchenko fall. You can see when she lands, that hop could have been so much bigger, but she knows how to minimize that deduction and just squeeze the step back really tight, and that's a vet move right there.
Take another look here.
Watch all of the height right there, breaks out for that landing, and then could have been way more of a hop.
She knows exactly where she is on every finish, which
well done.
goes to show in all of the awards that she's won throughout her career. This is Jalea Bedminster on the uneven bars.
Really nice shaposh release to start the routine. Down to that bail handstand. Almost had the handstand on top of the bar. Getting ready for that nice double layout dismount. And there is the stick for Pitt.
That looked like a great routine. Only went 9.75 last week, and I feel like that was better than a 9.75.
I think she's going to beat that score, too.
We'll see what the judges say. Bedminster, a senior from Loganville, Georgia, transfer from Long Island University.
Nice exclamation point.
And she knew she hit that routine.
She did.
Madison Benson exhibitioning for the Wolfpack. So that's one thing that we can talk about a little bit too, is both teams are going to have a lot of exhibitions this evening. So Sydney, tell us a little bit, just what does that mean for both of these teams?
Well, exhibitions are such a great thing because it allows the athletes to get opportunities to compete, to show off their skills and their routines, but also we're still early on in the season, so the lineups are changing each week. So depending on the team and the athletes and the coaches, you know, that lineup is interchangeable, and so each week you could have your, 7 and 8 spots going in for your top 6. So
absolutely. Madison, one of the seniors on this team from Coppell, Texas. A great vault for her. And then we've got another exhibition. Lucia Jacob from the Pitt team will be up next on the uneven bars.
The exhibitions are especially nice too for these away teams to come to a home setting, have that exposure, and get used to the new environment, because that's what postseason will be like.
And like you said, it's a long season. It's 13 weeks, weekends all in a row, and it does a number on their bodies. So that concludes the first rotation. We'll be back with the NC State Pitt scores. You're watching NCAA Women's Gymnastics on the ACC Network.